We have to become the person we are meant to be first, to live the life we are destined to live. We all encounter challenges, obstacles, and even dark times on that journey, but we are not alone. This podcast will give all seekers hope and understanding that others have walked that path before us. My guests will share how they overcame the challenges and what helped them turn the corner. Listening to their inspiring stories, get motivated and take action to transform into that amazing person that you really are. Your voice needs to be heard and your message must be shared. My name is Sabine Quenberg and I am your host. I'm glad that you're here to listen to my podcast where you can discover how to become the more incredible version of yourself. Are you ready? Let's get on this journey together. Welcome. I am so glad that you tuned in. Again, my name is Sabine Quenberg, and today I want to talk about how to become the leader that you are meant to be. I truly believe there is a leader in all of us. For some, it comes out more naturally, right, than for others. But I know that so many people who don't believe or think of themselves as leaders are actually very great ones. They are not thinking about themselves. They think about others first, and they help others to accomplish something, to get where they need to go. And in my eyes, this is a true leader if you have a servant heart. Let me break this down a little bit so that you understand where I am coming from. I believe there are those leaders who naturally step up and say, hey, here I am. I'm going to take the bull by the horns and I'm running with it. Yes, but then there are others who step up in situations that are needed for them to step up. And again, it can be in many different areas. For your business, for your family, friends, groups, teams, and even for yourself. Basically, you just become a role model. You step up when no one else will, and you put others before you. So I invite you to start thinking about a situation where you became a leader. Let me give you an example. When I was in summer camp, yes, this goes many, many years back. I think I was about 12 years old. We were in different rooms, and each room had about 10, 12 girls in it. And that particular day, that evening, we all were excited to go to a dance. And the group leader said, okay, we are going to meet at our meeting place where we went earlier today. Great, we knew it because earlier that day we did a hike and we ended up at a plateau in the woods. Fantastic, we know where it is. And we got our group together, we got there, we were the first ones there, so we were just having a ball, we had a great time. And then something else happened. Nobody came. That's when we realized, I think we got the wrong meeting place. But we thought, well, somebody will come to rescue us. But nobody came. And then the sun went down. And that laughter turned into sobbing and tears because everybody got scared. And in that moment, my inner leader came out. I knew I had to do something. I always had a great sense of directions, and I know where the camp was. And I know that we could cut through the woods to get there. So I said, it's okay. So I started encouraging everybody and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We'll get home. I'll get you safely home. So I got them all lined up. I said, everybody hold hands. I gave everybody a number. I was number 1 because I was leading them out there. And then we went. And of course, I was the first one to getting all those spider webs in my face. I was scared too, to tell you the truth. But something else inside of me awoke. And I knew I had to help them. I had to help this group. I had to lead them home. And that's what I did. And in between, I stopped and said, okay, let's call the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, everybody was there. And eventually, we arrived at the camp. Of course, we never got to the dance, but we were alive. And this was a moment that was important to me. I didn't know it at that time, but now I know. When I remember that, I knew that there was this inner hero, that inner leader that came out because I wanted to help others. So I'm asking you right now, think back at a time where you were helping someone. And it doesn't have to be leading them out of the dark woods. No, it can be just as simple as helping a neighbor with their groceries or with whatever it may be. You stepped up. You, at that time, became that leader, that role model that helped them. And you may be a great role model and leader for your family, for your kids. And I can't tell you how important it is to be a role model. And a leader is a role model for children, because they look up to you either as a parent, as a caregiver, as a teacher. And you can help them by them becoming their best self. That's what leaders are. They are empowering others. They help others. You know, sometimes we think, oh, I'm not a leader, like in work, for example. And you think they're leaders, but they're just managers. They just manage people. For me, that's not a leader. They still can be leaders, but there's a difference between managers and leaders, right? I truly believe leaders see the bigger picture. They think of how their action can benefit others, or maybe how their action can benefit a great cause. Leaders are not necessarily the rich bosses in the world. Not at all. The matter of the fact is, we had tremendous leaders in this world who had nothing, no great possessions. Like Mother Teresa, for example, or Gandhi, who really led the world in love and peace. Now, you don't have to be a Mother Teresa or Gandhi to be a great leader. You can be a great leader in your community. How can we develop the leader within us? I already gave you one tip, and that is think back at a time in your life where you stepped up and encouraged someone or encouraged others. Number 2, you have to make a conscious decision to do something that in your eyes is courageous, right? You could save an animal, for example, that is trapped, and without you stepping up, they would die. right? So that is something. The other day there was a turtle in the middle of the road, and I just had to stop to get that turtle out because they're not going very fast, and I don't want to see it crushed. In that moment, I stepped up. These are little things, but don't take it too lightly, because many little things can lead to great things. Number 3, volunteer for a cause. Volunteer for the soup kitchen. Volunteer for your school. Volunteer for the animal shelter. I mean, there's so many causes that you can volunteer for. And believe me or not, those peoples, in my eyes, are leaders. They are stepping up. Number 4, join a group that fosters the leadership positions. Like Toastmasters International, for example, or any, like a Rotary Club, whatever it may be, where they have some sort of positions that you can step up towards. When I joined Toastmasters International, I think it was in 2010, I did it to hone in some speaking skills. Little did I know that this was a great organization, that I even could improve my leadership skills, which I did. And I just wanted to be there for maybe 6 months or so, but I ended up being there for 4 years. And I earned my DTM, the Distinguished Toastmaster, where you had to fulfill your presentation or speaking track and then your leadership track. And in order to get your highest degree in the leadership education for Toastmasters International, you had to take on leadership positions, starting out with being the president in your club, then being a district leader, and you name it. You can go, of course, many different paths there, but you had to have at least 2 or 3 major leadership positions in order to get your DTM. And I learned a lot through that journey. So if I can just encourage you, if you want to really improve your leadership skills and want to step up as leader, join one of those groups who foster leadership positions. And then number 5, lead something in your community or family. It can be as little as a bake sale, or you collect in your neighborhood something that you will then give to Goodwill or to another cause. I mean, here in Florida, we recently had a major hurricane, Hurricane 5. And in some areas, it was very destructive. But you know what? People started pulling together. And then there are people who don't ever saw themselves as leaders, all of a sudden stepped up. They started collecting clothing items or whatnot to give it to those who lost everything. You can step up as leader in so many different ways. And really, what it means, just bringing out that inner hero, bringing out that leader that is within you. And in that process, you can become your next greater self. I hope you enjoyed this program today. It was just me, but I just felt like I needed to share this because I was asked a couple of times, or said, "Oh, Sabine, we like what you do. You're doing so great things. I never could do that." And I tell you, there's so much greatness within you. There's so much potential within you. And you can step up, becoming your own leader in your own life. And thus, becoming your next greater self. And for those leaders among you who want to take your leadership to a next level and perhaps even want to share your message, your expertise, and create a freedom lifestyle for you and your family, then I invite you to look at my Freedom Lifestyle Challenge. I'm going to put a link in the show notes that you can check it out and apply to be part of the next challenge that I'm starting. All right, my friend, that was my episode today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if so, do me a favor, hop over to the App Store where you get your podcasts and leave a quick review. It always helps with the algorithm. And until I see you again, always remember, follow your dreams, serve from the heart, and live the life you imagine.